So guys, if you remember, I told you that I would be showing you a little surprise that I made, and as it's pretty much already evident, I made myself my very own gaming PC, and it's just completely awesome. In this video, it won't be a tutorial. If I want to make one of those, I can do that as well. But this video will basically just be showing you what I did from the starts when I got the parts to what I faced while putting them all together and some common errors you might come across. So it was just completely awesome, and I would love to share the experience with you guys. So stay tuned and let's get straight into it. So basically guys, now that you've seen the parts, I'm gonna be basically showing you how it looks from the inside. Now, pretty bad at cable management, so I've got wires all over, but none of them are obstructing anything, so the airflow is pretty okay, I guess. And well, it's working fine. It's been about a week, so I'm guessing that my build was successful after all. And I tried overclocking and it kind of shut down, so I'll be talking about that in the later part of the video as well. What I want to discuss here is about the power supply or the SMPS, and the problem that well happened to me was I bought one from Antec. It's a pretty good company, at least that's what I heard, and what ended up happening was the power supply actually ended up getting fused. So I don't know, my connections were correct, and I even verified them, and it was pretty good, but I guess the PCU was, after all, broken, is all I can say at this point. So I exchanged for a Corsair one. I would just like to warn you guys, if you do get parts, make sure they're actually reputable, because like even a company like Antec, well, it ended up busting on me, man. So I had to go back and do that. And if you notice carefully, this isn't the tempered glass. Pay close attention to the glass, and you will see that's actually a sheet of plastic. The reason that happened was when my whole build was completed, I dropped the tempered glass and it just shattered into a billion pieces. So I had to go to a plastic maker and I had to take the dimensions for my case. The case is Ford 100R, so probably get your dimensions online, and don't buy the official replacement. Trust me, it costs way too much. As for everything else, it was pretty uneventful. I managed to install the CPU okay, the fan, I've got an all-in-one water cooler. I managed to install the GPU as well, no big deal. The SSD, that was pretty much the easiest of them all. And I can't really say that it's too hard, except for make sure you plug in the front panels. They are the most important part of your build, actually, and they're pretty precise, because you have to, depending on the motherboard, you need to plug them in right. So that's pretty much it, right? I got my build working, and now let's move on to the next part. You've seen the parts, you've seen how they all go together. Let's move on to overclocking. So as you can see guys, I'm onto the Microsoft Advanced Options screen, and from here I'm going to go on to the UEFI firmware settings. You might need to do this if you have an SSD like me, because it's really hard to go into BIOS by pressing F2 or F12 or whatever. As you can see, I'm into my PC's BIOS at this point, and basically the couple of things I tweaked was I made the CPU to gaming profile. This worked fine because, well, it's provided by Gigabyte, and I did not change the CPU base clock or the PCI clock frequency, mainly because when I did try to do that, my PC crashed. I did change my memory multiplier to 3200, and well, let's just say I had to open up my motherboard and press the CMOS chip. So I would really suggest that you actually check how much speed your processor and your memory actually supports. My memory supports 3200, but my processor doesn't. Then I changed it to 2933, which is supported by the i7-10700K. But then what happened was it still started crashing. It worked the first time around, but then it wasn't very stable. So I had to change it back to auto and 2667. Not a lot, but it still gets the job done. So when you do go for overclocking, you want to make sure you're ready to open up your PC, click on the CMOS pins, and, well, simply saying, ready to take a risk, because this is just not very easy to do if you're not prepared to take a risk. So I'm going to exit without saving. So that was basically overclocking, and now I'm going to move on to the last aspect, benchmarking. So guys, the first game that I'm going to benchmark is Minecraft, and I know not a very good game to benchmark because, well, the graphics are pixelated, but it's 2 minutes to go ahead and do this, so I'm going to go ahead and turn on the benchmarker. I'm going to record it for about 32 seconds, and right now I'm averaging 60 FPS. I don't know why it's kind of locked on that value. But if we open up Minecraft statistics, I am over about 200 FPS. So that's pretty awesome. And going around 230 FPS on Minecraft. So I guess I cannot say I'm too disappointed. There's no lag. My CPU is functioning at a decent enough speed. And my memory is functioning okay as well. My CPU, RAM, everything seems to be working fine, and, well, Minecraft is just working really smooth. So let me save the file and let's check out the logs. So guys, the next game that I'm going to benchmark is Rocket League, and this is probably the only two that I will be benchmarking. Well, mainly because that it's pretty much the only two good games that are worth benchmarking. I'm not going to benchmark Asphalt 9, but for your information, it averages about 80 FPS on full max stats. That is, God rays, anti-aliasing, everything turned on. As for Minecraft, I checked the logs, and it's averaging around 250 FPS, the peak reaching 300, and the lowest is 60, where we started, pretty much. So, let's see what's gonna happen. Right now, I'm on 62 FPS locked again. I don't know what's wrong with Afterburner, but it's just locking me on. As you can see, this is using relatively more GPU, and CPU is pretty much the same. And, well, let's see how it goes. So guys, I ended up averaging about 120 FPS on Rocket League. So I guess I can say that this gaming PC isn't so bad. I mean, at max stats, I guess both games are working just fine. And yeah, that was pretty much it for this video. I showed you basically all the aspects to making and using a gaming PC if you're going to use it to benchmark or any other thing. I don't know why Afterburner was playing up today, but yeah, I mean, we got the results, and that is what we really wanted. So thank you guys so much for watching, and a sub would be awesome, and it would just support me to make tons of other videos like this. I plan to explore a couple more topics in my next videos, so stay tuned and drop a like, hit the sub, and leave down in the comments if you would want, as I always say, anything. So that's it, and I'll see you next time.